people are all plants. It is the world overall. It is the stone people, the ancient ones. All of these beings have the right to life just like we do. And so we would orient ourselves, as an example with the South. We would orient. Are we in nurturance mode? Are we listening? Do we understand that the person who's talking to us right now is just as vulnerable as we are? Is just in need of love and compassion and listening, of acceptance, of honor as we are. That would be to orient ourselves correctly to the South. South is also about joy and enthusiasm and, again, joie de vivre. So are we enjoying ourselves in a moment? That doesn't mean hedonism. That doesn't mean just self-gratification. It doesn't mean whether we're having a hot fudge sundae right now. It means, are we deeply gratified? Are we deeply satisfied? Are we in deep joy with ourselves in life? The West, to orient ourselves to the West, or to feel the compass orientation of the West in any particular moment, would be to understand our own personal maturity, and to understand that with our maturity, no matter how old we are, that there's a responsibility that comes with that. That life has responsibilities, and they might not be only limited to the small, everyday responsibilities that all of us have. Take care of our children, take care of our pets, take care of ourselves, to drive, safely, to eat responsibly, to whatever's the list that we all would say. However, in addition to that, all of us have the responsibility of being responsible human beings, because every time one person doesn't, it affects everything, and it affects everyone. This is the direction of the West, to understand that our path, life is our path of maturation, our path of spiritual growth, and our path of spiritual maturity and wisdom. To orient ourselves to the North is to orient ourselves to the wisdom that we have already inside, that we have already grown because of the West, and because we were nurtured and honored and respected by the South and by the people who lived that medicine, if you will, that medicine of the heart, born of the South. The North also is the understanding of impermanence. That is to say, that everything comes and goes, that everything has its cycles, including its cycles of completion, including its cycles of ending, and that is to say, going into nothingness. So whatever names or labels or something that we have said about something, let's say that we cherish something, we held it as real. Well, eventually something, let's say as an idea, a bigger idea might come to us and say that something that we thought was real or that we understood so completely, now we understand that it was only a part. It was only a part of a greater whole. And there'll always be a greater whole. So everything and all of our understandings are always only a part. That's relativity. But relativity as understood in the mind, not Einstein's theory of relativity. This is a teaching of the North. This is an understanding that we come to in the North as we orient ourselves inside to our inner maturity, inside to our inner wisdom, that will always give us perspective, it will always give us altitude, and it will always keep us in alignment with what is in our inner compass true. True not just to ourselves, because the greater truths are just truths, shared by all humanity. They don't come from any doctrine, they don't come from any dogma, they all come from our hearts. And the compass orientation of the East would be to, in any moment, in every moment of the day, to understand that there is light right here. In this moment there is light. The way of the east is the way of the sun rising, and to see the light of the sun, to see the light of the moment, to see the light of clarity, the light of presence, the light of essential nature in everything all the time. It is to open our eyes. It is to be awake. It is to be aware. It is to not let the shadows of partness and ignorance and hatred or selfishness or jealousy, the smallness that a lot of us sometimes let ourselves be limited by. These things are to live in our shadows and not to understand that all is light. And all we have to do is open our eyes, which of course helps if we have our heart open. Then we see everything as light. We see all as, not as perfect necessarily, because that's a little trendy and a little trite, but we do see our way through and we see things clearly. So, over the next number of months, as the cardinal cross is afoot in our lives, and things might get a little tense every once in a while, reorient. Ask yourself, what is really going on here? What do I need to tap into? What do I need to be clear about? What do I need to be mature about? What do I need to see? Love you.